Hello class 10 student. Today I am going to discuss with you the chapter 4 of history subject, that is Indian freedom movement and national awakening in Assam. Here in this video we will discuss about the growth of Assamese nationalism. In this chapter 4 there are four things that we need to learn, that is growth of Assamese literature and literacy association and social political organization, role of Assam in the national movement for independence, ministry of Gopinath Bordoloi, and after independence what happened. Let's start. The first point we are going to discuss, that is the growth of Assamese nationalism. So how Assamese nationalism had grown up? It was after the first Anglo-Burmese war that took place in 1885. Anglo-Burmese war that took place in 1825, and after the Burmese were expelled from Assam. How and who? The British expelled the Burmese from Assam through a treaty named Yandabu Treaty. And I hope so you are well acquainted with that Yandabu Treaty as mentioned in class 9 that you have learned. But though there in Article 2 of Yandabu Treaty it is said that on behalf of the Ahom kingdom there was no one to sign the treaty between the Burmese king and the Ahom. So thereby on behalf of the Ahom the British had to sign the treaty, and in regards the British East India Company became the sole administrator, sole hierarchy of the Ahom kingdom. So in this way the Ahoms were taken over by the British and annexed into the British territory. And this Yandabu Treaty was signed in 1826 February, which resulted in the political annexation of Assam by the East India Company. Here again another thing that we need to mention, that after 1826 there is a great event, that is 1857. In the previous chapter, history lesson number 3, you have studied about the revolt of 1857, and Maniram Diwan led the revolt of 1857 in Assam. And what happened after the 1857? Consequent that peasant revolt has started, and we have discussed peasant revolt in various places. So till 1857, from 1826 to 1857, the East India Company, that is English East India Company, ruled over the Assam, and in regards to it the rule was termed, the period from 1826 to 1858 is known as Company Raj in Assam. So the British annexation of Assam led to economic and political restructuring of region. Changes after the British came in Assam, changes were done. So what were the changes in regards to economy? The changes were economic and social. As what happened during the whole Indian subcontinent when the British came, what are the changes similar to these changes, that is economic and social? The Assam has to render, and this economic, political and social, when these changes has brought out, the one thing that was changes brought about, that is the education system which was introduced, and this education system were Western introduced. The British started to open government operated schools, and here Western education system were introduced. So in this regard this English education had dual impact. That means two impacts over the Indian society. Let's discuss about these two impacts. Impact number one, that is it helped. That means the people who were now educated, who are now educated, and indigenous class, they started to critically questions question of their what, of their own tradition, faith and belief, and on the other hand national awareness had started. These two impact, critically question of their own tradition. That means in India there were various blind faith, and they were the work of the orthodox Brahmins, and in this way various social evils that have emerged in almost all the community, all the religion, like Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, whatever religions had come out. Like the Hindus were practicing sati system, the Muslims were practicing parda system in various order. So when the British came, the British started to interfere in various field, like tradition, like culture, religion and social. So English education, after the Western education were introduced in Assam, the people themselves started to critically question their own tradition, culture and religion. So in this regards, a sense of nationalism have emerged out. It is because of this, always remember that how the growth of nationalism has emerged out, it is because of only education. It is because of the only education that have started in India and also in Assam. So like in other parts of India also, by the end of the 19th century, voice of dissent against the colonial dominance. Dissent means the rule, going against the rule, against the law. Who will go against the law? That is the people, common people. And the people began going against law. This dissent was started by the people of Assam, and gradually the voice of dissent against the British rule found expression in the writing. Now people, they were educated now, so as they were educated, they were writing, they were starting to writing of several they were starting to write several prominent writing their expression. And here many prominent personalities of that time, that means important people of that time, started arousing feeling of nationalism in the region, and several socio-cultural organizations were formed to highlight the problem and aspiration of the people. So always remember what we need to express our problems, aspiration towards the government. And how it is done? It is done by appealing. It is done by appealing or requesting to the government, and this is done through writing, not directly writing to the British government, but also through different field. And writing, what we need education for writing certain things. So prominent personalities, important people who came in forward, which bring out the formation of various organizations to express their problems and aspiration. So in this regard, an important organization which bring out for the security of the Assamese people. So this is Asomia Bhasha Unnati Sadhini Sabha. In English terminology, it is called as Asomia Bhasha Unnati Sadhini Sabha, or in short, remember, we will further describe is ABUSS, because this ABUSS has a lot of contribution over the state of Assam. But in local terminology, it is called in Assamese language as Ahomia Bhasha Unnoti Sodhini Sabha or Abha Ukha. Remember that one. It's very important to understand it is this. The pronunciation differs in Assamese and also in English. The true pronunciation is Ahomia Bhasha Unnoti Sodhini Sabha or Abha Ukha. And in short, in English, we are writing ABUSS. So, this organization was formed, and before starting this organization, prominent people came to form different organization, and the first earliest association that has formed was Gyan Pradayani Sabha. You know that when the Ahom administrative system was completely shattered, and when the British English East India Company has introduced new form of administration, the Ahom missionaries who were engaged in the administrative system, they were unable to work in the English new system of administration, and in return the British were compelled to invite the Bengali bureaucrats, educated people from Bengal, and also other groups of people like Marwari people from the other parts of the country. And these people came and they started to run the administration smoothly, because they were these Bengali educated people, they were well acquainted in running the administration of the state. So in this regard, in schools, that means institution, educational institutions, administration, in every field, Bengali language started to become as an important language over the state of Assam. And this was not liked by the Assamese common people. And in regards, some of the prominent leaders like Anandaram Thekial Phukan and Gunaviram Borua have started this Gyan Pradayani Sabha in 1857 against the introduction of Bengali language in 1837, and after strong debate and pressure upon the British government, the British government were compelled to alter, re-establishing the Assamese language in Assam in 1873, and Assamese language was re-established. However, in the process, language became a marker of Assamese nationalism, and thereby after the winning success of the Gyan Pradayani Sabha, the spirit of the Assamese people were boosted, and they were going further for starting a new and stronger organization in Assam. So in Calcutta, we find more strong. In Calcutta, we find today we are pronouncing Kolkata, but always remember, in history it is regarded as Calcutta. So always, whenever in answers or any debates or any essays that you are going to write for history, you have to term Calcutta, not Kolkata. So in Calcutta, we find more strong initiatives by the students from Assam to form association, and also to improve Assamese language. Assamese language, to improve Assamese language and literature. And here, first known association formed in Calcutta was the Assamese Literary Society. Remember this thing. Assamese Literary Society was started, and some of the illustrious members like Jagannath Borua, Manik Chandra Borua has brought out this organization, and on behalf of the society, a memorandum was submitted to the Viceroy. The Viceroy, name of the Viceroy was Lord Northbrook. In the memorandum, some appeal were done to take necessary steps for development of the natural resource of Assam and linking Assam with Bengal by railway. It was for the first time the appeal for railway was mentioned, and the society was active till 1885. The society was short-lived. After 1885, there was no activity of the society. So in this regard, the people were thinking of opening a new organization which is stronger enough and which will stay for eternity. And in this regard, after taking initiatives and growing attack on Assamese languages in the Bengali press, the Assamese students in Calcutta felt the need to organization which will enrich the Assamese language and literature. And consequently, in 1888, the Asamiya Bhasha Unnati Sadhini Sabha was formed, and it soon matured into literary organization under the able guidance of students like Hemchandra Borua Goswami, Lakshminath Bejburua, Kanaklal Borua, Ramakanta Barkatagi and Chandra Kumar Agarwala. And this Asamiya Bhasha Unnati Sadhini Sabha arose a sense of unity and national awareness among the Assamese. So in this regard, the Assamese Bhasha Unnati Sadhini Sabha played a very important role in starting a national awareness among the Assamese. So in the next discussion, we will continue with the work of Assamese Bhasha Unnati Sabha. So I hope so you will understand, and if you have any query, you can ask me question in the WhatsApp group. For the time being, thank you.